a decision. They have just been asking for an input or doing a calculation. Everybody agree? Or just displaying an input and an actual input that we've already put in. What we're going to talk about now is called decision structure. And a decision structure actually allows you to make a decision. Okay? If something, I'm going to do this. If I do this, I'm going to do this. If it's cold outside, I'm going to go get a jacket. If it's hot outside, I'm not going to wear a jacket. That type of stuff. If this, I'm going to do this. So what happens now is we're going to talk about an if, an if-else, and a while statement. Okay? With the if statement, you get if this, you do this. But now with the if statement, there has to be an else to follow the if statement because you have to know what to do if the if statement is false. Make sense? Okay? Now with the decision structure, it has to have a true or false statement so that it can make a decision. Make sense? Okay? If it is cold outside, I'm going to grab a coat. That's my if, right? What would be my else? Take a lucky guess.
If it ain't cold outside, I'm going to leave it in the house.
All right? So I would just have else. I wouldn't have an else if it's cold outside. It would be an if it's cold outside. Else, grab a coat. No, or don't grab a coat. If it's cold outside, grab a coat. Else, don't grab a coat. Here's how it looks. If cold outside, wear a coat. That's the truth, right? And this is how your flow chart would look if you did it in a flow chart. The statement in here has to be true or false. Okay? It can't be an equation. It can't be an input. It has to have a true or false statement. That's how that works. So now, if I wanted to write multiple lines under this if statement, I would have to have open and close curly brackets. We talked about curly brackets when we first started, right? If I wanted multiple statements, I gotta have an open curly bracket and I gotta have a closed one, right? We talked about that just a little bit. So now, if it's cold outside, I'm gonna do all of the things that's inside that bracket. That means I'm gonna wear a coat, I'm gonna grab a hat, and I'm gonna have some gloves. That's all the things inside that statement. This is gonna be on Blackboard. It's already out there, I believe. Okay? That's your if statement. Now, you may ask, you say something got to be true or false inside it. How we make a true or false statement? This is how you make a true or false statement. It's called your operators. These operators help you decide if the statement is true or false. Greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Now the equal is a double equal sign. Why do you think it's a double equal sign?
Because it's already used something else.
Because we already use it when we make our equations as a single equal sign. So now to say that it equals it, we got to have two equal signs. Now to say that it's not equal, we got an exclamation point and an equal sign to say that it's not equal. Now our logical operators allow us to combine two true or false statements with our operators. The double and sign says that it has to be true and true before it performs something. Make sense? So if it's cold outside and it's raining, I'm going to do what?
Wear a hat.
Wear a hat, some gloves, and a raincoat, right? Or get an umbrella. raining outside or it's cold outside, I may do what? Grab a coat. So now, did you see what just happened? There's an or statement. What do you think about the or statement? Either one could be true or false, but not both. Both of them don't have to be true. Either one could be true. For an and statement, both have to be true before you perform the action. If not, it's an else statement. It goes to the else. The not symbol says not this. Whatever it is, it's basically the reverse of true. So if it's true and you want to make it false, you reverse it. Here's an example of how you use your expressions, your Boolean expressions. X is greater than Y. X is less than Y. X is greater than or equal to Y. X is less than or equal to Y. X equals Y. And X is not equal to Y. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now let's see it in progress. Live. If X is greater than Y, then we're going to print out X is greater than Y. If X is equal to Y, then we want to print out system.out.print X is equal to Y. If X is not equal to Y, I want to tell them, hey, it's not equal to Y. But then I threw in an X equal Y without a double equal sign. So what does that tell me? Huh? Yeah, because now I did what? I assigned X to Y, right? So now they're both the same values. Because we know that one equal sign is either our calculation or it's an assignment. All right? Make sense? All right, let me grab this program so you can look at it. All right, look. So this program here is called Average Scores. So it basically takes the average, it takes in scores and it creates the average, and then it tells you whether you pass or if you fail. Because that's an if statement, right? Because if you make a certain grade, you pass. If you don't, you do what? You fail. All right? So here's how it looks. This is what you already used to. You already know how to do this part, right? You already know how to do that. Now look at this. So if the average is greater than 80, it performs what? This statement. Else if, here's an else if. This now gives us a second option. Okay? Else if says average is less than 70, you what? You fail. But then it gives you another option because now if you somewhere in between 70 and 80, what happens?
I just don't know.
We just don't know. We don't know if you pass or you fail.
I'm pretty sure that's a C.
Yeah, it's pretty sure. In our logic, it is a C. But this program, that's just what we did here.
Why you make the program stupid? He's got feelings too.
All right. So now here's my question. If I wanted to add 100, 90, 80, 70, and 60, what would I have to add in here? I don't have to declare no more variables. What I gotta do to my if statement? Huh? What'd you say? Add some more. What I gotta add more of? Else if. So here's an example. All right, we're gonna take the average of some grades. So we're gonna say if average is greater than 90, you have an A. Okay?
I honestly think I'd rather have him though.
If average is greater than 80, you have a what? You have a B. Okay. So now if I wanted to add 70 in here, else if average greater than 70, what happens?
You might have passed. I told somebody that system outprint might have passed 3 days ago.
System dot out dot print. Alright, look. So this program here is called average scores. So it basically takes the average.
Might have, and that's not.
It takes in scores and it creates the average. And then it tells you whether you pass or if you fail. Because that's an if statement, right? According to y'all classmates. If you make a certain grade, you pass. Alright. If you don't, you do what?
You
see what happened here? Alright. So here's how it looks. Add another else if statement. But here now, you already know this part, right? Y'all already know how to do that. I did. Now look at this. If average is greater than 90. The average is greater than 80. You got an 8. It performs what? This statement. Then the else if average is an else if. This now gives us a second option. If I get a 9. Okay? Else if says average is less than 70, you what? You fail. But then it gives you another option because the 90 included, I gotta put equal to 70 and 80. What happens? To get 70, I put equal to. We don't know if you pass it. Make sense?
I'm pretty sure that's a C though.
Yeah, it's pretty sure. In our if I tell you that's it to the if else statement, what would you say? Just what we did here.
Why you make the program?
You were shaking his head like, nah, that can't be it. That is. All right. So here's my question. Huh? If I wanted to add 100, 90, no, 80, you reading down. You reading down. What would I have? You're not going back up. What it does is it checks the first one first. It checks. I have to declare no more variables. What I gotta do to the if equal to 90, you get an A. If not, it goes where? It reads here. If this is true. It reads else if this isn't so true, here's an example. Alright, we're gonna take the average of some grades. So we're gonna say if true, it does what? Average is greater than 90. If this isn't true, then it does what? That's our last one. You have an this ends it. Else ends it. Okay. Not else if, just else. Yes, ma'am.
So if you did that, you could also do if the average is less.
If average is greater than 80, you have a what? You could do, if you did 7, say for 70, we wanted to cover, we didn't want to put an equal sign. So now if I wanted to add 70 in here, else, and if you have a C, average, what's going to happen? Greater than 70, everybody from a 69 on up is going to have what? A C. But if you got a 69, what's going to happen? System dot to the bottom. If you wanted to do it that way. Dot out dot print.
And don't put the wow.
She was trying to say if you went below the 70, what would happen? If you took out the equal sign. We took out the equal sign. And then we took it down a number.
Might have made it.
Right.
No.
According to y'all class. You got it, son? Alright. Got it. So you see what happened? You got it. What do we have to do? Star Wars, you got it. I had to add another else how we looking? Statement. But here's something we want to point out. I did. Huh? If average is greater than 90. But what we about to do now is we about to write this program. You got an A. Alright? Then I did else if average is. So what I want you to do is I want you to copy this out. Because I want you to write it so you can understand it. But what happens? But what I want you to do is we're going to change something. You're going to keep the top. And we're going to do 3 scores, right? But now I really want you to write it. So to like get in school. The 90 included, I got to put equal to. You got to have a what? 90 and above, right? If you got a B, you got to have an 80 to get above, 70, I put equal to. That's what I want you to write. Make sense? If I tell you that's it to the if-else statement, what would you say?
That's it.
You were shaking his head like, nah, that can't be it. That is? Huh? We're going to get the input from the
Huh?
keyboard.
New.
Greater than 60.
We're gonna print out the average first.
No.
And then we're gonna tell them if they got an
You
A,
reading
B,
down.
C, D,
You
or
reading down.
if they just didn't make it.
You're not going back up.
Problem, see?
What it does is it checks
The first one first. It checks this. And if you greater than or equal to 90, you get an A. If not, program average scores. That's what we're doing. If this is true, it reads this. If this isn't true, it reads this. And if this is true, it does what? Prints this. But if this isn't true, it does what? It goes to the next one. And then if this isn't true, then it does what? That's our last
Well,
one.
that was not.
This is ends it. Else ends it. Not else if, just else. Yes, ma'am.
So, okay, so if you didn't do that, could you also do if the average is less than
you could do, if you did 7, say for 70, we wanted to cover, we didn't want to put an equal sign in there. We wanted to put 69 and you have a C. What's going to happen? Everybody from a 69 on up is going to have what? A C. But if you got a 69, what's going to happen? You drop to the bottom if you wanted to do it that way. She was trying to say if you went below the 70, what would happen? If you took out the equal sign. We took out the equal sign. And then we took it down a number.
Oh, average greater than 69.
Right.
Average scores.
You got it, son? You got it? D, you got it? Miss Starworth, you got it? Jay, how we looking? Good? All right.